Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming another one of my Unhaul videos. Excuse my hair, I could not be bothered to actually do anything with it. We're going to jump right in. I'm doing sci-fi this time, and I think I have sci-fi and fantasy left. And if you know me at all or have been around on my channel, I read a lot of fantasy and I've been reading a decent amount of sci-fi. So these are ones that I either didn't like or just don't really have any interest in anymore, or that I DNF'd because it was too hard sci-fi for me. First up is an older book that I'm pretty sure has to be a middle grade, and I read it when I was like probably 13, 14. And that is The Last Universe by William Sleater. And this is one that I remember really, really loving, and that's because I'm pretty sure it deals with Schrodinger's cat, or that quantum physics theory. So I remember really liking it, but I tried to reread it recently and it's written for such a young audience. And I read a decent amount of middle grade, but this was too much for me. Like, the writing was very, very basic, and I was like, I'll leave that back in my past and remember enjoying it a lot than rereading it now and really hating it for the writing. Next up is a DNF, and that is The First 15 Lives of Harry August. I tried to read this right after reading Zebulon Finch, and it's so similar, but it's also, in my opinion, it was way more boring than Zebulon Finch was. Zebulon Finch was at least funny, and it's this guy that lives his life over and over and over, and it's not the exact same thing as Zebulon Finch, in which he just doesn't die, but it was very similar in tone, except Zebulon Finch is funny, and this was not, and it was very boring. I listened to 25% of it, and I was like, I don't think this is for me. I didn't really like the writing, so this was a disappointment because I've actually been wanting to read this for a while, but I think I'm just gonna pass it along. Ooh, now we're getting into a little bit more controversial and well-known ones. First of those being Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, I believe. I read, I want to say like 80 or 60 to 80 pages of this, and I really, really did not like the main character. I didn't like the sci-fi aspects. Like, it was kind of interesting, but like I really wasn't feeling it. And normally if I'm already not liking something or like a character by 60 or so pages in, I'm like, I'm probably not going to do it. And that's exactly what happened with this. And I know this is really popular, but if I ever want to experience this story, as bad as it sounds, I will probably go see the movie. So sorry to those that like this, but I don't think it's for me. Next up is The Martian by Andy Weir. Again, this has a movie. I didn't love the writing. I heard it gets very sciencey and like math and stuff, and I was like, I want to say 30 or 40 pages into this one, and I thought Mark Watney was kind of funny, but not funny enough for me to have to listen to all of the science. And I really like the premise of this, so I was really sad. And I've been wanting to read this for years, but I honestly will probably go see the movie, or if an audiobook ever becomes available, I might listen to it. But I've never been able to find one that I didn't have to pay for. And I don't want to pay for something that I might not really love, so. Also, audiobooks are expensive, so yeah. This is going in my Unhaul pile, and I'm sure somebody else will be really excited to see this for cheap somewhere or at a library. And next up is a very well-beloved series on BookTube, of which I did mostly like, and I like some of the characters, but I know I'm never going to reread them. There are a couple of characters in it that I really don't like, and that is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And I own all of them. I bought all of them when I was really new to BookTube, and I just binge read them. I think I got to them around the time winter came out. So obviously I own the whole series, and I bought all of them and I read all of them, but I actually don't love them as much as other people do for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Like, I think they're really fun. These are also kind of heavy. I don't know why I'm holding them up this entire time. Like, I think they're fun. They were fun for what they were. I don't hate them or anything, but I'm not going to reread them. I know myself. I really don't like Cress. I also don't like Thorn. I know those are two of the most like beloved characters, at least on BookTube, from this series. I did like Cinder. I did like Wolf. Like, there were some characters I was a really big fan of, and I really liked the world, but I know I'm not going to reread them. So I'm going to pass this set along to someone that's going to enjoy them and actually get use out of them way more than I would. Next up, we have Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This is another book I tried to read. I read I want to say a solid 50 or so pages, and just was not into the world. I know this has a lot of controversy, but that's not even like the reason that I DNF'd it. I just kind of I wasn't that interested in the premise to begin with, and I just bought it because it was Veronica Roth, and I'm still a huge fan of the Divergent trilogy, but I don't think this world and these characters are for me. That's all I have to say about this one, to be completely honest. Next up is a book that I read recently for some readathon that I don't remember because I've done too many, and that is All Are Wrong Todays by Elam Mastai. I listened to the audiobook of this. I think the premise is really interesting, and there are parts of it that I really liked, but I only ended up giving it like, I think a 3.5 tops. And the audiobook was good. It's read by the author, but this is just not a book that I want to keep on my shelves because it really centered around like a romance that I was not for. Like, that's not what I went into this thinking it was going to be or what I was looking for, and the entire plot hinged on him being obsessed with this girl, and it rubbed me the wrong way. There was a lot of cursing in this that I thought was really unnecessary, which isn't something that usually bothers me a ton, but in this, for some reason, it really did. So this is going straight into the Unhaul pile. And then second to last, we have the two Wrinkle in Time companion novels. The first being A Swiftly Tilting Planet, which is book 3 in the companion series, and then Many Waters, which is book 4. I read both of these this year, I believe, and I didn't really like them because I meant to reread the whole Wrinkle in Time quintet because I never finished it in middle school when I read Wrinkle in Time and A Wind in the Door, and I love those first two books, but something about the rest of the series is just not working out for me. Like, I do love the Christian references, and that's basically the only thing that I really liked about them, like all those little dog ears were Christian or like Bible references, which I do like, and I like about Madeleine L'Engle's writing, but these stories were not nearly as like magical and whimsical as the first two, and I was really sad about it. Again, I might finish the series, but if I do, I'm not gonna buy that 5th book. And then last but not least, I don't think, is a series that I've recently, like very recently in the last couple of days, tried to listen to the audio of, which was always my intention when I bought these, and it went right over my head. I listened to like 4 or 5 chapters, and they're like relatively long chapters, and that is this series by Peter F. Hamilton, which actually was on my like goals video for the year to try and read this series. And I picked these up at a thrift store for like 40 cents each, and I was like, oh, I want to read more sci-fi. This is like hardcore sci-fi, and I don't even know how else to explain it, but like I listened to 5 chapters of this on the audio. I've tried to read it physically twice before this, of the first book, The Reality Dysfunction, and I just have no idea what's going on. Like, I think this is too hard sci-fi for me, and I didn't know if that was going to be a thing, but apparently there is sci-fi that I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much for me. It's something I would much rather watch in like a movie or a TV show than like read in these 1,000+ page books, of which there are 3 of them. I'm gonna try and back up and show you. These are not even all of the books because these Reality Dysfunction books are so big. But these are my sci-fi unhaul pile. I can't hold these for much longer, so thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.